Alright, that's just enough waiting around in general. Welcome, everyone. Been a while. Glad to see a couple people are already hanging around and chat. Welcome to Animosi and Extra More. Hope you have a fun time. And today we're just going to be going back to Wind Waker. It's been a while due to getting distracted by Beautiful Joe, which I think that's going to be the last Beautiful Joe stream for a while. I'm still finding my feet with this whole streaming thing and building my skill with that. And turns out having a game that really requires you to be able to split attention well and be really good at the game is a bad combination. But yeah, just going to get back into Wind Waker and pick that off. I actually completely forgot where we were in that game. I thought we were on the part where you have to reassemble the Triforce, which is just a whole big mandatory side quest, easily the most disliked part of the game, but we're actually starting right into another dungeon. The next thing we have to do is returning to the Forsaken Fortress, where we will get revenge on that stupid bird. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Please tell me if there's a audio balance issue or something going on with that. I'm on new streaming software, so I am not really sure how well audio mixes at all. Like, I might be completely quiet right now, or I might be overwhelmingly loud. I am not sure how this is going, but from all the stuff I see, this is good enough. But if not, don't hesitate to say anything or to just chat out and chat. Well, without further ado, oh good, it's good to see that this is already working. This has stopped working. Helps if you click into the window. Right. We should not be here. That's what you get for trying to sequence break and get a bit of a power up a bit early. Shoot. Yeah, let's go to Great Fish. There might be something we can trade. Or if not, we can get that column of islands. Yeah. Oof. So before coming to stream tonight, I did pop a quick caffeine pill, which I have because senior year of college is a whole thing. And that is not helping. Yeah. Because when I started streaming, it was at the dead middle of summer, so I had not only had time, I also had energy. But now in the middle of... Do we have this one? I don't think we have this one. Yeah. Well, in the middle of the semester, I'm amazed I'm still going strong. That's just not with streaming, that's in general. Yeah. It's a whole tiring thing. But, without further ado, I actually like this next dungeon, because, ew, right into the wall. Because not only do you get to go back to a pretty annoying dungeon from earlier, you get to go back with a lot more power, and finally get all the chests missed. First stream, which is actually my first stream in general, so there's probably no one who remembers it, because accidentally deleted that video somehow. There was a piece of heart in there that we got that first time, but Then my laptop decided to say screw you, which was another whole thing, and all my save data got wiped. And second time through, I forgot it was there. So we got a piece of heart to get, which... wrong button, right button. Well, it won't get us a new heart container, it will get us a sure shot closer. Which is good. Yeah. If I remember right, after this point, we should actually get all of the overworld events to unlocked. Because, if I remember right, a lot of stuff is tied behind late game items. Stuff like the hook shot or the skull hammer, which we'll be getting soon. And all the reefs just aren't populated. So until that happens, it's just, there's a lot of stuff, but in good old Zelda fashion, absolutely none of it is accessible. Like right here, that little peg on the island, which, no wait, this is why we have a telescope. That thing, yeah, that, need the skull hammer for that, and it's like 2 or 3, oh come on, get to the fish. 2 or 3 islands that have pretty good stuff, like piece of heart, sort of gear upgrades behind them, that requires the hammer. That, and a hammer is just a good thing to have. Like, you can solve so many problems with a good hammer. Something get in your way, just good, BAM! Right over the head with the hammer. This is a creator of and solution to so many of life's problems. I hear the... oh, right, I did an accent for this. Let's see if I can remember it. Ah, see? I hear the bird people who live on Dragonroost Island, east of here, have invented an incredibly useful device they call a grappling hook. No lie, Fry. I hear you can throw that thing at monsters and use it to grab treasure that... yeah, more tutorial. We've already done this. That's just... and tells you what's already in there. We don't need to know this. We have seen this already. I mean, I'd complain again about how much of the dialogue in this game is just tutorial advice, but most of the dialogue you interact with I think is probably the fishes, like getting the map information. And there's 49 tiles on the world map. Eventually you're going to run out of stuff to talk to, and given the nature of it, they're designed to be tutorials. Which, it's fair game design, it's just, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo in general has a bit of a problem with what I like to call controller button labeled prompts, where if they have dialogue at all, they tend to use it to inform the player how to do things in the game. Which is fine for the style of most Nintendo games. That's just how it is. It's stuff like Mario, Zelda, Kirby. It's games that are meant to be games. There's not really much of a narrative, and the narrative that's there, I feel, is almost better communicated implicitly than through dialogue. It's just part of the reason I forget to talk to people in games, because I grew up on stuff like this. I just don't think to talk to people, because it's just, I don't need that tutorial stuff in my life. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. But, oh shoot, just got an email from my streaming software. The stats for your stream. My internet cut out right before I was even done on the intro wait. Before I was done with the tech test, my My internet said no. Seems to have stabilized now, but if it continues to say, no, screw you, we're just going to call it an early weekend. Yeah, like I was saying, Legend of Zelda games are much better, I think, in giving good story information or just good setting information implicitly. It's a game that on its surface is just a fun little adventure that's kind of like, oops, that's the right one. It's just kind of suitable for people of all ages. It's the quintessential video game. Like I said, Nintendo is a company that makes games that are games. That sort of thing. But with Zelda, at the very least, if you go a little bit below the surface, you get all these wild and absolutely wonderful fan theories. I spent probably... Give me a break. What's with you using the same bait all the time? Don't they make premium brand of this stuff? Oh! I forgot this was already filled in. Yeah, that's just more stuff. Wait, I think I can do... Oh yeah, there's a mini game now. Yeah, we can take a break from storming the castle and try this. I'll continue my thought. Yeah, aggressive acupuncture. 10 arrows for that bow. If while you aim those suckers at me when I leap out of the sea. Yeah, see if you can't peg me with them. For each arrow you nail me with, I'll give you 100 rubies, and if you hit me with all 10, I'll give you 200 rubies. Oh yeah, this is probably the easiest way to make money. I just never did it. Shoot, I actually hit. Alright, you fish. Get... Ah! Miss! Now. It's chunky, but in a good way. Ha! Yeah, like... I don't know if you guys have ever looked into Zelda fan theories. There are so many of them. And I probably spent the entire afternoon. I was watching a video, like 1 hour long diatribe on all the tiny little details of that are in Breath of the Wild, which that I want to get a capture card just to play that game on stream, because there is so much and it is all for fans. Missed those last couple. But then I got into a rabbit hole. It's absolutely covered. I love it when games just keep arrows or projectiles or stuff like that in them. It's just so funny. Ow! Jerk. But yeah, it's just spent probably all afternoon just looking at these fan theories. And there's everything from what the hell is the deal with the aliens in Majora's Mask to here's a tiny little detail you didn't really think about. Anyway, this is why the Hyrulean royal family has been making abominations for their own benefit, which I just for the sake of giving a source, yeah, Zeltic, which I'll put in the chat, that's the guy whose theories I've been going all on. Which, that's a rough way to put a link, but don't have it up on my computer right now. But highly recommend him for just, he has a bunch of great Zelda theories up. And my favorite part is that they're all very well researched with all these tiny little references to the infinitesimally small details of that are present in the game. Like, only a couple times does he use any resources that weren't directly found in or found in the game at all, and those times is usually in an interview with the creator. He said this on this subject, which, yeah, it's just, there's so many wild theories, and these games get so implicitly dark. I think there's always the creepy temple in these games, and this one's the Earth Temple, which, just for the sake of tradition, and I'm pretty sure you might have to go to it first, or at least I've always gone to it first, so we are going to continue to always go to it first. Where's the last cannon? I know I have to get all the cannons to drop the gate. But that one, there's always one temple in these games that is absolutely, aha, cannon ahoy, jam full of zombies, ghosts, and just everything. Which, growing up, I was not really a fan. I think we can all agree that when we were first exposed to them, Re-Deads haunted our nightmares. I know they did for me, and this was the first game I encountered them in, but that's a diatribe for when we get to the Re-Deads. What? Did I miss a cannon? Or do I just have to attack the gate directly? There's always one of those spirit temples, or shadow temples, or whatever, that they're just like, you thought it was a kid's game. Yeah, we tried to keep it PG, except for this. And they just go ham on creepy little details. I know Ocarina of Time was properly awful for this. Oh! Well, I just wasted all of our time. Ain't that grand? I mean, it's just shooting cannons does things in this game. I guess it doesn't do it there. Although, that was a surprisingly realistic outcome. It was just kind of rotten wood. Anyway, time to fight a ghost. Hello, Shadow Ganon. Our battle will be legendary. Let us tennis. Ha! So the fun thing is, if you saw that, there's some writing on the side. Ow! I don't know what I expected there, but I guess the answer was to talk a bit more. But there's some writing on his side of his blade. I forget exactly what it is, but get back up here. But you can translate it to two names, which one of them's Gabora. I forget the other one, but the two names translate and line up to two swordsmiths that appear in Majora's Mask, which in that game you could give them materials and such to upgrade your sword to the strongest sword in that game, the Gilded Sword. But just a nice little... All these games, despite being completely different from each other, have these odd through lines. And I know Breath of the Wild's absolutely lousy with them. They're so... Oh shoot, I hear Nick I hear these Nyctodinks or whatever you call them. I hate them. I hate them so much. Yeah, these games have so many fun little callbacks that there's so much not really internal consistency. But I suppose through lines where you see similar characters get thrown, boys! Get thrown! But it's just, you see similar characters, or at least names. Ha! I got him on the backswing! Pancake! Just keep on appearing. Kind of like Final Fantasy does something similar, where there's 3 characters who aren't the same, but in every game there'll be someone named Sid, someone named Biggs, and someone named Wedge. It's just a tradition that has been going back from not actually the first game, but at least the second game, and all remakes of the first game have retroactively put Biggs, Wedge, and Sid in there somewhere. Just one of those weird traditions that they make this kind of stable of characters and keep on using them. Which is really cool, and like you can see this in Breath of the Wild. They all kind of come to a head. There's so many little references in that game to... Oh, I can just... glide! So many small references in that game to earlier games in this series. Like, I know you can find the map from Link's Awakening as a shrine challenge, which it lines up to the official art of the map pretty well. Where do we want to go? I know the Piece of Hearts. Yeah, I think we have to pull a left and get round here. Which, by pull a left, I mean, that is the wrong button. Gonna hit him with a hammer, but I'll just hit him with a sword instead. Close enough. Yeah, there's just a good through line, and I keep on hitting the wrong button. I was trying to get the leaf going there. But if I can keep on going long enough to finish a sentence, Zelda games keep a wonderful through line, which they always seem to be aware in newer games what they've established in older games and how to build off of that, which is just a good way to do game design. Just be aware of everything you've done before and build off of that. I think I've gone too far. I have gone way too far. I mean, that was exactly where I wanted to go, and there's... As cool as Forsaken Fortress is, and as nice as to come back with a bit more power, there's not really a lot here. The challenge of this dungeon the first time you go through is the fact that you literally have absolutely nothing. You have a telescope, a shield. Oh, this guy's still here. Ow. I was trying to juke him. I got instead. But yeah, the challenge of this dungeon the first time through isn't any puzzles or monsters or anything like that. It's the fact that you're trying to do a Zelda dungeon without anything to do a Zelda dungeon with. You have a shield, a telescope, and some heroic resolve. That's about it. Which makes it a weird kind of stealth thing. Which is a fun intro. Okay, it's on the first floor of this whole thing. Ah! Okay, I would like to know where on the first floor this is. So, oh, it's in there. Ah, there's the switch. And one of the best examples of what I'm talking about with how aware Zelda games are of the games before them. In pretty much every game in a timeline, you can pretty much count that certain things will always be on certain general areas of the map. I think I said before that Forest Haven is Kokiri Forest from Ocarina of Time. Oh man, I am getting my butt kicked by these guys. Eat hammer. No, you eat hammer. This is going well. New plan. Oh no, I just made him look cool. Ha! That was a death cry. That was also a death cry. Mission accomplished, everything's alright. But in general, certain locations are always present in Zelda games. And you can usually pretty well map where previous locations, or locations in previous games rather, are just in a general area. Like, as I was saying, Dragon Roost Island in this game is equivalent to Death Mountain in the same general area of the map as it was in Ocarina of Time. Forest Haven in this game is pretty obviously Kokiri Forest from Wind Waker. Great Fish Isle, I believe, maps with Lake Hylia. The theory I've always heard is that the Forsaken Fortress here maps really well and is considered to be the Gerudo Fortress from Ocarina. Of course, it's all just general location. I know Twilight Princess, that game was a lot better about it was more exact. Like, the Temple of Time is usually a good landmark, which appears as either a plot relevant location or just kind of a location, which from there everything is usually put out in relation to that. So in Twilight Princess, oh shoot, I'm a floor below where I need to be. Ah shoot, floor masters. We're just gonna ignore them and keep on going looking for a ladder up. But in Twilight Princess, where the Temple of Time occurs, you can then, based off of that and that alone, pretty much match up one-to-one where the locations from Ocarina of Time were. And like I said before, you can do that with this game. And Breath of the Wild, I think it's a bit more generalized, but like one of my favorite things to look up is map comparisons between games, because they're really good at keeping a semi-coherent map that makes it seem like this is generally speaking the same world in a timeline, just over hundreds of years, a couple decades, like massive time gaps between each game. Which, like, this is all just coming from all of those YouTube videos and theories I was watching, plus Overly Sarcastic Productions video on it, which is really good. They're just a good channel in general. They're an inspiration for sure. But it's just so cool that if you look into it, you can find that these games have that coherent map. Which is just, they're very well planned out games. Oh, they're very well connected games. I'm not sure about planned out. Right, back up at full. Let's get to running. Finally get to just going to roll up, literally, and give that bird a piece of our mind. And by mind, I mean this giant fuck-off hammer. I cannot be bothered, however, to do this wall sidling again. That takes forever, and I have no time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. Just thought of something. Whenever the internet disconnects, I always have 2 videos of a stream in my VODs folder, which is annoying. I'm meaning to learn video editing and splice them back together, but college ain't no. Ah! Ah! I flew too close to the sun, and my wings have melted. Oh, hey, we're just back here. Take 2! Anyway, I mean to do that, but, like, this is the first time in a while I've had time. It's just everything's kind of coming to a head. But I hope to get that whole YouTube side a bit better connected, and completely dropping the point I was going when I started talking. I have been thinking of doing more of, like, trying to do a... Wait. How did I get here? Oh, this is the same place. Come on. Okay, fine. We'll do the sidling puzzle. If you insist, we can do it. I guess. Game. But I've been considering doing some scripted content. Like, as you see, I have a lot to say about these games. And it's all... But the problem is, it's all based off of experience. If I can't really remember the nitty-gritty, tiny little details that are arguably the point of bringing it up, I just remember it a bit more vaguely. I'd like to do a bit more, either... Probably not lore videos, because I feel like it's a space that so many people, like Zeltic, has done before and covered, and there's not much new I could add to that space. And there's not much new that I could add and say better than the people who have already said it. But, like, I feel like I could talk a lot more about, from the viewpoint of a fan who Like, the whole point of me doing this streaming is these are games I remember from my childhood, which I realize are now about 20 years old, give or take. Probably give a couple years, 17, 18 years, still close enough. That a lot of people who right now are the same age I was when I first played it just won't pick up because they're either not available. The last time this was ported was on the Wii U, which was a horrible flop of a system. And I really hope it has a a Switch port, but yeah, let's just revel in this scene here. Oh, she was worried. Wait, she was in jail and worried about me? Ah! The Idiot Squad and Tetra. I miss these people. Mostly the Idiot Squad. And Tetra. They're arguably my favorite characters in the game. Ooh. Mood killer. Also a mood killer. My shield bugging out and just going flop, 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 all around. Yeah, I love that. There's so many little hints that Tetra knows a lot more about the whole legend of the hero and all that sort of stuff than she lets on. She has that chart in her room on the ship where it has the Triforce decked out by connecting the points of all of the dungeon islands and all of the triangle islands. She has a lot of... I think she has a couple other things in there which doesn't come to mind, but she also recognizes that you look a lot like the hero of time, whereas people on Windfall have I feel like they've largely forgotten the story. They just know that there was a hero, he wore these clothes, he saved the kingdom from some vague evil. Nothing more like that. Oh shoot, I completely forgot what I was talking about beforehand. However, that is what the tangent counter is for. Which, that is just general command, exclamation point. Commands gives a list to everything else. They exist. I'm gonna watch this VOD back and think, of course you idiot, that's what you were talking about, and it was such a good thought. Right, it was YouTube. Right, that's what I was talking about, but yeah, these games were like some of my favorites when I was growing up, and I've got a couple more lined up after this. I'm thinking I might try to split off between alternate streams, so this ain't good. Stupid bird, once I'm out of a flooding room and on some good footing, you are getting what's coming to you. Yeah, once I think after I complete this game, or actually, why wait? I can do it start now, but kind of interleave a more action-oriented game and a more kind of casual type game like this, just to get a bit of variety, so I'm not just blocking out a game. Ooh, we got a schmoove. But just to get some variety in while I'm streaming. But I the GameCube was a really big system for me that I remember very fondly. Move! And I just kind of realized a while ago, before I started streaming, that the GameCube had a lot of good games. It started a lot of franchises and did bonk, and had a lot of. It was kind of like the PS3, where a lot of good ideas were started and a lot of ambitious projects were launched on the system, but the technology wasn't quite there to fully realize them like it would be in the PS4, the Xbox 360, and later the next gen of consoles. And I just kind of realized that there's a lot of honest-to-God gems on this system, and same with the NES. That was the first system I had, and one that I really fondly remember. And it's just not one that kind of that people will know. Yeah, like people my age or not people the age I was when I was playing these games. They have very new and shiny systems available, and point is, I just don't want these games to be lost. Yeah, I have very fond memories figuring them out and playing them, and I just feel like it would be a shame for this history to be lost, because, as I was saying before, there's not a very strong port availability. Like, 64 recently got launched as part of Nintendo Online, but it jacked up the price a lot and didn't do a good job with the emulation. From what I've heard, it's a substandard port, whereas stuff like third-party emulators are a lot better at it. Bonk. And I just want to see these. I just want to show off these games kind of as close to how they were as I can get. Which is another reason why I hope to one day just find and get a good capture card. I want to wait to make sure that this is something that I'll be doing, and I want to get better, partially because I have almost stronger memories of the 64. The first system I had that I remembered was an NES, which was my dad's from college. We also had a Nintendo 64, and that's really what I started gaming with. And the 64, I still have, and with a capture card and a VGA to HDMI converter, I could get that streaming, and I just think it'd be cool to show, yeah, this is the original 64, the graphics weren't great, but they were 3D, and they were huge. But I just want to take a look at, oh yeah, this is, yeah, you know how I was talking about how this was, actually, wait, no, that's not Gerdu. That's the Sheikah eye symbol. This is a... Right, I just remembered more of the theory. The theory is that the building was the Gerdu fortress from Ocarina. The inhabitants were Sheikah that drove out the original Gerdu inhabitants, because this is a Zelda game. The Gerdu can have almost nothing nice until I think the nicest off the Gyarados have ever been is Breath of the Wild. They don't have good anything until then. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm grow my skills as a content creator and streamer a bit more before I show off those really old and foundational games. Like the 64, I'm just going to pause here and rant for a bit. Nintendo 64 was where all of these great series, Mario, Zelda, Kirby, really took off. Because Zelda had Ocarina of Time, which it trips over itself, trying to homage and recreate, and it was such an influential game. Mario had Super Mario 64, which solidified the collectathon genre of game. And then Kirby had Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards, which was also a fantastic game. It's a 2.5D platformer, which has one of the best gimmicks ever in a Kirby game, which I hope to talk about more later when we explore the Kirby side of things. Kirby side of things. Anyway, this is Ganon. He deserves a voice. You have done well to sneak into my fortress and wriggle your way in all the way up here. I suppose the least I can do is commend you for your reckless courage. My name is Ganondorf. Which, keep in mind, this is the same guy that you beat up in Ocarina of Time. It's just that after he got ousted from the whole plot to take over everything in that game, he came back with a vengeance. And I am the master of the Forsaken Fortress. That's a proper response to the King of Darkness, yes. By the way, boy, when you drew that sword of yours out of its pedestal, did you by chance notice how all the monsters frozen in time down there suddenly begin stirring again? Do you understand precisely what that means? I highly doubt you do. Foolish child. Well, that sword is indeed the blade of evil's bane. At the same time, it has long played another role. You see, it is also a sort of key. A most wretched little key that had kept the seal on me and my magic intact. By withdrawing the blade, you have broken that seal. Yep, once again, the grand tradition that, sure, Link is the hero who defeats all the darkness, but if he got involved, it's highly possible that Ganon... Well, actually it's Ganon. He's probably going to worm his way into some sort of power. But you screw up so much stuff in the first half of the game. You always... By collecting the first half of these games' artifacts, you always give Ganon precisely what he wants. Like, sure, in the long run it works out. Also, again, a more mature Ganon. He saw this is a dude with the Master Sword and green clothing. He is going to be a problem. I acknowledge that now. Time to stab him. And also, this is a girl connected to him. This is also going to be a problem. Let me just check. Yep! Yeah, he just gets the first sign of resistance. He first of all takes preemptive action, and within the second of meeting them, says, "New hero of time, new Princess Zelda. We got the full set, boys." Yoink! Truly nothing stops a postman. This is just the exemplary example of, hey guys, I found out what the big giant god of darkness is weak to. Oh really, Valu, what's that? Point blank annihilation. This is totally a tangent, but I don't really care because I love it so much. Is anyone here familiar with the story of Old Man Henderson? Actually, I have an excuse because my name is Eldritch Horror of Bread. I can talk about anything Eldritch Horror related, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, Old Man Henderson, what the story behind it is, a bunch of people were playing Call of Cthulhu, a tabletop RPG like D&D, but it's cosmic horror themed, which means if your characters go through more than 3 sessions without dying, going insane, or being just driven to a crying pile of frayed nerves, you are doing uncommonly well and are very good at the game. It's cosmic horror inspired. Nothing good happens to investigators in a cosmic horror game. But the story is, there's this guy who was a great role player. He just loved getting into character and acting as that character. And the game master, the guy running the game, was kind of a wretched fat bastard. He was the guy who just had his favorite NPCs, his favorite enemies, and if players did anything that didn't fit his plan, too bad, you're dead and being unreasonably punished for doing exactly what your character would in this situation. Now, this ticked off Old Man Henderson's player. So, first of all, I love the Link's little cross-legged pose, like, ha, I finally know something you don't. And then he immediately gets scared by the guidance stone. But anyway, it ticked off his players so much that it's like, okay, I am going to break this guy. I am going to drive him insane, but I'm going to do it my way. So he wrote a 500-page backstory for this character. He said it took him 3 days straight of just writing. After a certain point, he slipped into a fugue state, does not remember what he wrote, and the narration went from standard prose, paragraphs and sentences, and to poetry, stage directions, and at one point, perfectly fluent German, which is a lot more notable when you realize that the character's player does not speak fluent German. Not even a little bit. He said afterwards that it was less like he was writing a backstory of his own imagination, but rather giving form to something that was already there. He might have summoned an Eldritch Horror just to screw over his GM. But through the whole point of that backstory was every skill he could possibly need was justified because it was too big to possibly expect any sane person to read, which is why the only people who read it were him and one other player. And from that, it's important to know that in a game where you're supposed to be an average person with no combat skill, he was not only a Vietnam veteran, despite I think being born at a point where he couldn't have been in Vietnam, he also had an automatic shotgun, and was insane enough that any eldritch horror or horrendous insanity-inducing thing was just not worse than anything he's already seen and just brushed it off. At one point, They find a page of the Necronomicon, roll it into a blunt, and smoke it, which really takes the edge off of the horrors they summon. There's also the tanker truck incident, which is the definitive incident involving tanker trucks. At one point, they steal a military helicopter, which he does not have the skills to pilot, but everyone just assumed he did, because why wouldn't he? And they use that helicopter to steal a yacht, which they drop on a penthouse to put the two cults, one which owned the yacht, one which owned the penthouse, against each other. And in my most favorite... So here's the thing, despite calling myself Eldritch Horror bred, I actually really dislike that genre. I like the idea of there being Eldritch Horrors, and like these weird things outside of reality that are just fundamentally wrong. I dislike the idea of there existing anything that, upon seeing it, just drives people's minds insane. Like, if you reread Lovecraft's writing now, first of all, despite being absolutely horrible, both in content and as a writer, like, I have a collection of his stuff, it's not that good. It's just, all of his characters come off as being very weak-minded when the moment that they come into contact with something that isn't there, that does not confirm the fact that they are special, TM, that it just breaks their mind in half, really pisses me off. But anyway, the crowning moment is that they kill Hastur, the King in Yellow, which is basically... So, King in Yellow is kind of like an original monster, like a foundational Eldritch Horror in the genre. He is not written by Lovecraft, which means he is a much better... he is a much better monster than anything Lovecraft wrote. And he managed to permanently kill Hastur with a hockey ring full of explosives. Like, if you just Google Old Man Henderson, which, actually, you know what, I'm just going to find the story and put a link to it, because this is a favorite of mine. This might be one of my favorite works in the cosmic horror genre, if you can call a text post story of... Yeah, if you can call a text post story of it entry in the genre. An entry. But I highly recommend reading it, because it's just insane, and it is an example of what a tabletop game of anything should be. Player-driven insanity with an unintended conclusion. Yeah. And I just love it so much. What was I talking about before this? I feel like this has been just one long, ongoing field of thought, but I don't remember what that is. Ah, well, something will come to me. I have rants for at least 2.5 days. Oh, hey. It's Zelda. One complaint of the game is that after this point, Tetra basically becomes a non-entity. Like, Amazingly, she is understandably written out of the story after this point. up until the final boss battle, because in grand tradition, someone has to be kidnapped or taken out of the way, and that someone is always going to be Zelda. But there's a couple through lines, like her role in the final battle, that shows a nice part of it that, yeah, she's Zelda. She was also a pirate queen for several years, so she's not exactly the Zelda she was beforehand. It's kind of... Shoot! I just realized what they did here. This is a reverse Sheik. Because in Ocarina of Time, the whole twist, which I don't care about spoilers, because that game was like from what, the 90s? Is that Sheik is actually Zelda. Like, first you are introduced to her as a princess, then you are introduced to her as a badass. This game does the opposite. First you are introduced to her as a badass, and then you are introduced to her as a princess, and then you're reminded, yeah, nope, still a pirate. Far too dangerous for you to join us in this task. She saved my ass 3 times and is the whole brains of the operation. Wait, this chamber isn't known to Ganon? He just said he knew about the pedestal. I think he has a general idea of this place. Which, actually, he totally does, because kidnapping... Bread. Well, yeah, it has been all your fault. But it also has not been anything that Link has not made worse by his own hands. And better by his own hands. Link is proof that all you need in life to get ahead is a single brain cell, dangerously unchecked levels of confidence, and a general direction. Not anything specific, just a general direction of where to fling yourself. As I can attest, everything else will just kind of fall into place. Speaking of everything else falling into place, it is so much easier to do this when you are not tired from a week of heavy coursework, and by not tired from week coursework, I mean I popped like 200 milligrams of caffeine beforehand. Which, despite being the same amount as a cup of coffee, is a lot more concentrated in pill form than a sippable hot drink. Which is why it works better. So that's my advice to students. It's okay to use stimulants if you just cannot deal with all of the effort you are required, because once you get later in college, that effort increases a lot. They expect a lot out of you. Oh man. My internet connection's fighting me again. Oh yeah, this is where we get come on, words, I know you're there, come to me now, I need you. Triforce Shard to side quest. Which you can do a lot. I'm not sure if you can actually... No, I've gotten like all... You can't get the Triforce until after you do the power up the Master Sword. Which first it's 2 more dungeons to power up the Master Sword. And then... Oh. And then we do all the other things. However, I think we have finally gotten... Ah! No! Now! Jerk! Ah! I think... Okay, good. Thought we were about to get stuck in an infinite loop by my stubborn refusal to turn the other direction. But all the reefs should be up, which... Like, they have good stuff for side questing, and I would actually like to do a bit of that because... Oh, shoot. Better question. Are we actually ever going to get the Tower of the Gods map information? The answer is probably, one day. But that day will not be this day. Yes, the cannons are here. Finally. Let's go! Huh, that was not the direction I expected to take a cannonball from. Too much height. Too much height. Bullseye! Come on, hit him. Nope. I mean, arguably, I don't really need these charts because I have a general idea of what happens, of what's all on. I have a general idea of what's useful to find here. And also, I am absolutely terrible at remembering what side quest stuff I have and have not already gotten. But it would be nice because what is coming up eventually is the eternal side quest of the Triforce chart. And it'd be just nice to have them to figure out what's all around everywhere. Okay, where's this last cannon? There's the last cannon! Come on over here and get some. Ah, got some. And there it is. So every reef has a handful of cannons. I should just boat over. Am I on top of a treasure point? Let's see. Nah. You know, we'll see where... Oh, there it is. I wasn't even close. Anyway, that treasure is small potatoes. Small, insignificant potatoes. Compared to what we're getting, I think. Just gotta readjust the wind to actually be pointing in the proper direction. And there we are. Little dangly legs. Just flop, 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 flopping around those little sausages. Oh! Treasure chart! Ain't a special chart, but you know what? I'll take it. Where did I get this Triforce chart? Oh, that's a triangle island. I didn't know I had a... Oh, the islet is steel. That's where I got it. Because it was there, on the way, it's cheap, it's easy, it's free. Anyway, what's next in our general direction? Oh, hey, the Northern Triangle Island. Let's go. Alright. I just completely blanked out there. I think it is very possible that the effects of the caffeine I used to bootstrap my energy for this stream have not survived contact with the hour straight of ranting I have undergone. Ah, getting close. Huh, right on top. Although I'm pretty sure once I figure out something else to rant on, we'll get right back to getting to where we were. You get? Oh! Oh, this is perfect! I was wondering... Okay, so I misremembered. I thought that the special charts appeared where the special charts were directly on the actual briefs, that you got them directly. But it appears instead that it's just you get the treasure charts and you parlay that into getting the special charts. Which, let's take a look to see. Ah! Come on, buttons, cooperate. So we got 12 Iocto up there. I feel like we've gotten this one already. Yeah, that seems right. Which... And then there's also one down around here. Oh! Oh, I just remembered what we can get now. We're going back to where we started this stream. Yeah, Mother and Child Isle. Now that we've defeated the Forsaken Fortress for the final time, we can swing back around and collect the special arrows. Which means we can get more fun stuff. Ow. I just banged my knees, or not my knee, my elbow. Which is an arm knee, but that's beside the point. Kind of skinned it, doing some rock climbing. Fun thing of college, being in college, they have a lot of different classes, and so happens that mine offers rock climbing, which wasn't really a thing I thought I could do. But I tried it anything. I tried it anything. Oh, I tried it anyway. Oh, the door to your fate has already swung open. Well, it's a I am a link, so my door to my fate is a revolving door. Queen of the Fairies. Nice. But, yeah. Just tried it because I needed a gym class and it seemed interesting. And as evidenced by this channel, I have never done I've never exactly shied away from something that I knew I was not really qualified for. Because as it turns out, and this is something I honestly believe, you can't do anything at all, if you're not willing to first be absolutely awful at it. The first step at doing anything well is doing that thing poorly. Extremely poorly. And then you do it again. Less poorly. And a third time. More poorly. And a fourth time, you slip back a bit and do it worse than the first time, but then you realize that and you slip back to the fourth time where you do it better. And eventually, you get mediocre at it. And then you keep doing it. And then you become excellent at it. That's just, yeah. If you're afraid to fail and try things and expect that everything you do is just something you jump into and will get good at the first time, you're never going to do anything outside your comfort zone. You're only going to do a handful of things. It's just nature of the thing that I guarantee you no one who you can name anyone at all. I don't have anything in my potion bottles. That is water. That is singularly not helpful. Yeah, anyone who you can think of who's like master of their craft, excellent at anything, I guarantee you when they started out, they have an entire library of videos, material, of early works, early attempts that suck. Probably the best people you've ever seen have worked on something where their contributions are not attributed or not significant because they were gaining the skills they needed to do what they are known for later in life and were bad at it. But they kept on doing it and eventually they got good. Alright, where are we going? The answer is Bomb Island for the sole purpose of side questing. We're getting that magic armor because it is a stupidly powerful game breaker. Yeah. In order to do anything well, you have to, first of all, honestly commit to it. Like, just say, yeah, I am going to give this my best try and put my heart into it. And then you have to admit that you're not going to be good at it. And eventually, you're going to figure it out. Either through, like, part of it, on my first couple of streams, my layouts weren't that good. I still think there's a lot of room for improvement. I'm trying to figure that out and improve it, but since then I noticed little things like sizing issues, like, oh, I need a backing for my chat, oh, I could really put more things on the game screen, I should really have an intro screen and something I can cut away to should, say, everything go tits up. Should say that. And you just learn these little things of looking at what you did, doing it a little bit better. Oh, I think I can. Oh, I already got into Bomb Island. And doing incremental improvements and just getting a bit better every time. Aha! Dancing post box. Love to see that. Oh! To think that over there would be such a container. Oh! But anyway, postbox and trading quest. Good evening. Letters for bread. We have 2 letters. Here is your letter. Cash on delivery, son of a bitch. Yes, I'll pay. Oh, I see what that is. This is from Tingle. Pay 201 rubies to force you to get the wallet upgrade to make sure you can actually hold enough money for his charts. Which, that's good game design. There's little incremental things that are both kind of funny, but also make sure you're engaging with other facets of the game. Like, I know I'm getting off topic, but Yakuza is also really good at it. There's certain story beats in those games that forces you to do mini games to show, like, hey, there's a whole other side of this game outside the main story that you should check out. Which that's I might let's not spoil everything. I've been looking at a couple things of stuff, learning stuff, and that whole increment, back to the topic at hand, incremental improvement. Like, when I was changing software, I learned about that, oh, there's more things out there than Streamlab OBS, which I have hilariously heard shortened to slobs. I think this is a new one. And there's so much more stuff, and I kind of caught on to a couple things that I realized, oh, I can do what I'm doing easier. I thought there was a barrier in place, but there's software to get around that. And yeah, if you try anything, when you start off, you're not going to have the skills for it necessarily, but you're also not going to have the resources for it. Like, one such thing like that is, where was the other merchant? It was kind of a triangle. Right, bomb, great fish, mother and child. Like, another example I have of that is studying comp sci, computer science here, and when I started out, I was using pretty much a pure text editor, basically Microsoft Word, but stripped down further. And then as I went along in the program, I started learning what I needed to know to find the tools to do it better. And now my current stuff I have, set up is much easier. Hang on, I just got a notification. Fortunately, we're sailing around, so I have time to deal with this stuff. Unless we flew past. Okay, we didn't get past Fire Mountain. That's where we're going. But yeah, as you improve in anything, you not only learn more of the skill, you also learn more. Lagging a bit. You also learn more of how to get to the actual. You also learn more of what you need to know in order to find better tools. Sorry for the lag, I just got a message about something else that I have to start a couple things on my end. Oh hey, there's a treasure chart there. Let's just hold that down. Actually, we can get. Nope. Helps if you clicked into the window. Ain't this a wonderful screen lagging thingamajig? Anyway, there's more treasure here, which is... Ooh, wow, I stopped right on top of that. God. I feel like I'm belaboring the point, but... Point is... There is literally nothing stopping you from anything. If you have an interest, but think, oh, I couldn't do that, I'm not good enough to do that, I have no relevant skills, there's nothing stopping you from doing it amateurly, or seeking out resources to learn to do it, or just going in and trying, and just give it a couple tries, find out it's not from you. Oh, sweet, more money! Hell yeah! Find out it's not for you, you can just turn around and quit. You owe nothing to no one, and that is the beautiful thing about everything. Anyway, I should start by getting very close to this active volcano. This is a good idea. Try this at home, kids. Ooh. Another notification just popped up. So I'm a real big fan of that kind of Dark Souls series, and I'm not necessarily the best sweaty try-hard PvP player. I just really love how it does storytelling. That whole... It's actually kind of like Legend of Zelda, where the meat of the story and world is not with what you can see, it's what's implied. And so I've been following all the Elden Ring announcements, and I got one talking about how promising its open world looks. And I will say, I'm curious to see how that goes. Oh shoot, I took a wrong turn. Things might get crispy here, boys and girls and non-binaries. And anything else. But anyway, it was talking about how it's looking really promising for open world, which is interesting because Dark Souls historically has been described as a game that was designed first, and then they figured out how the player was supposed to navigate through it. But I am digressing from. I should at least make a token effort to stay on the topic of the series I'm playing. But it's just looking promising, and I love an ambitious a series that takes some creativity, some liberties. Oh shoot! That tries something. Like, even if it doesn't hit, it's experience. And to bring it back around, actually, that Nintendo's long-running game series show that really well. Like, yeah, sure. Oh, shoot, I have to kill these guys. I gotta do a murder real quick. Hold on, boys. Girls and non-binary fails. But this is a series that's been around long enough. It was a foundational series for video games. Like, so many just established games say, yeah, I took inspiration from Zelda when making this. It's an establishment. It's a big thing. But it's been around long enough that you see incremental changes. Like, Breath of the Wild is, first of all, it's easily the best game in the series to date. Like, it does so many things and does them all well. So Breath of the Wild, I feel, takes inspiration from previous titles really clearly and really well. There's more obvious stuff. Like, you can very plainly see that they were testing out specific mechanics, like bit more exploration, and things like the sailcloth from Skyward Sword is very directly, oh sweet, we can go fight a squid face. Let's go! Is very clearly derive the inspiration and the technical demo for... Oh, we can also get another treasure chest here. For the paraglider in Breath of the Wild. And they also blocked out the stamina system in that game and the series of upgrading, choosing between stamina and heart containers with the spirit vessels. There was a... Yeah, no, if I'm remembering right, it's been a while since I played Skyward Sword, and part of it is there was enough of a... They tried enough things that were experimental that it's not my favorite game in the series, but it's still a good game. But you could tell they tried a lot and got... I'm gonna get closer. And oh yeah, I should act. I've been meaning to talk through what I'm doing more in stream instead of just ranting, but turns out I gotta talk about it. Just got this treasure chest here. But yeah, they got the sailcloth stamina system and upgrade system. Also kind of the idea of gear upgrades, different things in a pouch inventory were kind of blocked out in that game and then perfected in Breath of the Wild. But I feel like they also took the idea of a massive open world from this game. Because look, this is a 7x7 map of 49 essentially side quest locations that they set up, put together, and said, yeah, go explore. And of course, if you look at all the interviews of the developers and such, they also took a massive inspiration from the first Zelda game, where you start out in the world, no gear, no weapon. You can actually miss the sword, if the most basic part of anything, if you don't know where to look. And you could really tell that they took inspiration from a lot of places. I think they might have... They didn't take much, I feel, of things from Twilight Princess, but I might just be misremembering. But nothing really stands out as strong, as obvious. Like, oh yeah, they got this element from Breath of the Wild from this part of Twilight Princess as it does for the other ones. But it's just that whole incremental improvement. They took things that they tried and to a degree succeeded on in earlier Zelda titles, and the Wizrobes. Well, that's much easier. And they just tried it again. And that sort of incremental improvement leads to a better product in the end. Like, I feel like in order to get any sort of deep, rich, and complex systems, that was awful. Just boing, 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 boing. You have to start with a simple idea, focus on it, and then try it again with more complexity. We're going to need the bow for this. And you can see that with Breath of the Wild. Like, I'm really excited for Breath of the Wild 2, and that is... something that, don't expect to see me for that month, because I'm going to be busy. Die, wizard! Stupid teleporting toucans. Beautiful. No! Ah, I fell in the gap. Oh, I just remembered where this whole rant started from. YouTube content. Yeah, I wanted, as I was saying before a while ago, I really want to do more scripted content. Like, plan out what I want to say and put these things to paper. I'm still trying to figure out kind of what my niche is, what good at, what I can add to a space that, admittingly, with these kind of old games, a lot of work has been done talking about them just by in virtue of the fact that these were massively popular games back in the day, and even now for a couple of games on GameCube that I still play and absolutely love. Like games on PS4 and modern games, they have replay value, but I don't quite have the nostalgia of these games. Oh, lame treasure. So I don't really come back to them as readily as I do these very old Zelda games and, well, GameCube games in general. But there's still games that when I come back to, I still look up things from the same old IGN or whatever the website is, these old message boards that have all of this data. Like, I remember Harvest Moon, Magical Melody. That game series really is the granddaddy of Stardew Valley. That is the type of farming sim that Concerned Ape drew on when he was making that game. And I remember looking at these old guides that wasn't even some sort of markup language like HTML that will make a page look all pretty. It was a text document that they did everything by hand. It's called ASCII art when you put in a bunch of just characters in a way that's like, a thing. Like, if you ever seen those videos where it starts zoomed in on like a sentence and then slowly, oh, hey, big octos. Yeah, I'm in the area to fight one. Slowly zooms out and it's like a picture of Abraham Lincoln or something stupid like that. Like that sort of art, but on a smaller scale. It's just every title, header, whatever is just, where am I? There am I. Is just completely set up in this most basic early days of the internet, before you could easily make a website or a YouTube video to just share this information. And I got sidetracked again. Okay, where's this big old stupid... Wait, I have a telescope for this. Yeah, I feel like it'd be fun to give these kind of ramblings a bit more substance, a bit more plan. Okay, there is an octo here. Problem is where they might be. Probably a bit further south. But just talk on these things I got a bit of passion about, and just give them a bit more form and focus. Not sure when I'm going to get started on that, because big part of it is I'm on a much sparser schedule. I got a couple streamer friends who just have not had the time or energy to do a stream in months. which is completely understandable. But yeah, like when I say I'm amazed I'm still doing it, it's because most people I know... Oh, I'm getting close. Rain is a sign of octopus. Burn that wisdom into your heart. I think. It might just be a regular rainstorm. God, where are the seagulls here? There's no way I came this way before. Oh, it's getting light, so I might be able to see them if the render distance cooperates. But yeah, when I say I'm a bit surprised that I'm still going as strong as I am, it's because so many people I know is just... It is just on the schedule of when I have a bit of time. Spoiler alert, I have no time, and are essentially on hiatus, which... That's fine. You gotta focus on what's... You gotta focus on you a bit, and if you just don't have the time or energy and it's going to be miserable or fun for nobody, I've learned that the answer is come back on a better day. Yeah. You know, you'd think a massive 12-eyed angry octopus that wants to kill you would be so much easier to find, but I am struggling. I'm struggling something fierce. Man. Turns out I am also popular tonight, aside from various Discord notifications. Wait, is it just here? Was I blind? I also just got a spam call. I don't know about everyone else's opinions, but I usually don't answer it, but let me tell you, the most fun I've ever seen had with a spam call is I've seen someone just straight up yell into the phone, and after they're done, annoyingly wish they had an air horn. And guess what? It worked. After they full on screamed at their phone, after like a month of straight telling them, take me off your list. I'm asking you, and by law you have to. That worked. Like, just if you have an incessant spam caller that isn't a robocall, yell at them. Because if it's robocalls, you don't want to answer, because then your number will be listed as a number that's not worth the time to call because it doesn't pick up. But if it's a person on the other end, people are often more stubborn than machines, so you do have to just yell at them. Okay, there's no way I already got this octo. It has to be here. Give me another minute, chat, and then I'll... Should be a... I mean, the only thing I have is that. Should be a big old cloud of seagulls, but... No, that's just a big old cloud. Ahoy! Found him! Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! Oh shoot, I went like right past him. It's like, I did see him, right? But turns out the power of the telescope is an increase in render distance. Who would have guessed? Yeah. Alright. Let's show this squid face who's boss. Hint! It's me! Ha ha ha! Fire a full broadside. Sure, it's a disappointing one cannon, but... Bonk. Bonk. Octopus. Octopus. Gonna fry you into calamari. I had something more musically, something a bit more musical set up there, but it got lost along the way, and that's okay. Can't believe I hit that one. There we go. Oh. I thought there was a problem with my headphones. That they weren't doing the thing. A little glitch in there, but... Nope, turns out just, even outside of the confines of my stream, everything's scuffed, and that's okay. If you disagree, please refer to the, like, half-hour-long rant earlier. Something useful? Yeah! We are one step closer to full invincibility. And by full invincibility, I mean a ridiculous amount of hearts. You know, let's just continue along this top row and actually do something related to plot. We'll find out if I actually have the right item, because I was too busy ranting to actually explain what I did at Fire Mountain. So the next stage of dungeons are all just islands we could explore. When we were a couple streams ago, when we were down here, we went right by Headstone Island, and I said, we are coming back to that later. So these islands are all kind of sealed with something. One of them, yeah, this one's Gale Island, so we can't actually get in, but I'll stop by and show it off. And first we have to gain entry by getting additional tools. What we got in Fire Mountain was the strength bracers, which, as you saw... Oh, sweet! Another treasure! We'll get the fish first. Should also stop off at Beetles for more. Uh-oh. For more, bait. Also got a lookout on there. Check that out. But, so the strength bracers means that for a lot of those rocks, we now no longer need to, plant bombs. We can just lift them as is. And my bread tuber is bugging out. Oh, there it goes. Heard me and immediately said, better start working. I think. I'm just going to check the setup behind that. Yeah. Just a sec. There we go. That is about the same, but you know what? We're good for that. Yeah, just more about the ghost ship, which I still can't believe we actually ran across it. I've gone many playthroughs where it's just Yeah, the ghost ships exist, but there's no real reason, and randomly, just, yeah, came across it. Ho, ho, I see, I do indeed. Aha, submarine. Man, there's so much of stuff here. Oh, first things first, a treasure. Oh, right. I did forget very briefly what I was talking about, but I remember it now, so we're not counting that on the tangent counter. Okay. But yeah, so the strength bracers lets us pick up those large stones that normally we've just been blasting out of the way. A couple of them, like the headstones, one being on Headstone Island, can't be blown up by normal bombs, so we need... Oh wow, I'm getting so many pieces of heart. Where were all of these when I was just picking up random treasures with a full wallet like a dork? I swear. But yeah, so... in summary, before I get interrupted by my own thought process again, we can pick up very heavy things, which is useful to get, which is what we're going to need to get into Gale Island. Need to get, there's also Frostring Isle, which I think is right there. It's in this general location, so we'll stumble upon it eventually. And honestly, there's so many side quests, and they're all pretty beneficial that I am fine taking it slow, especially now that we can get into most of the... Oh, shoot. Can get into most of the Triforce chart areas. I just had a thought. Oh, shoot, you know where we're going back to right after this? We're heading back to Outset to learn the skill of something very silly. Oh man. This is a bit much. These are the one enemy the spin attack was built for. They just don't stop coming. They don't stop coming, and 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 they don't stop coming. I mean, in all honesty, this is actually a pretty cool fight. Oh, thank God. Get me out of here. Let me out. Let me out! Treasure chart. Treasure chart. Does whatever a treasure chart does. That's another thing I recently learned about, that my life was so much worse off before I knew about this. So, got a friend who's like really into comics, at least more so than I am, and he recently illuminated me about the existence of Spider-Man, which is one of those weird Marvel Comics alternate universe one-shots of Spider-Man. It's a swarm of spiders that disguise themselves as Peter Parker, due to the fact that instead of getting bit by one radioactive spider, Peter Parker in this universe got devoured by a horde of radioactive spiders who absorbed his memories and then decided to put on a costume and fight crime. it's delightfully silly, and I have to say this sort of nonsense is the stuff I wish Marvel was brave enough to put into the cinematic universe. I'm just saying, I haven't really watched a Marvel movie in a while. Like, the hype kind of wore off for me a while ago. I was never into that stuff to begin with, and it just after a while I was like, oh wow, this is a stupid amount of media for me to consume, and I'm just going to continue to do my own little thing. But like, I would watch the hell out of Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, it's just a bunch of every scene. Instead of it being Peter Parker, it's just Peter Parker, but occasionally a spider will crawl across his face and get yelled at. Like if in the first re-release, well, oh right, I'm just like, what was I doing here? I got so distracted by Spider-Man. Like in the first Spider-Man movie, he gets hit by Vulture, and instead of falling back like a normal fight scene, gets exploded into a swarm of spider, like when you mash an egg sack. That would be so funny. Knight's crest. Symbol of a courageous knight. Anyone can gather them. No, takes a soul who possesses not only power, but wisdom and courage as well. Well, I got none of those things right now, but I know where to find 2 out of 3 of them. Ooh, 10. This technique is the dumbest technique in The Legend of Zelda. It's the Spider-Man of Zelda sword techniques. Just accumulate power and... It has little practical purpose outside of the points where it is ridiculously useful. Like, there's a reason I thought of it after that submarine, because that is the point where it is needed. I already saved her. So, good on me. Good on me. It's a good thing we did. Anyway, as you might have seen on the way in, actually we can't see it right from here. You kind of see it from there. We got a headstone. Which means we are dumping a couple fairies. Actually, we are dumping 1 fairy because of how soup works. And we are going to get on with things. Yep. Alright, Grandma, hit me with your best soup. Now, trust me, we're gonna need this. Because the upcoming Triforce chart is, well, it's in part of a mini dungeon, and to put it succinctly, shit like this is why nobody likes the side quest. Also, Massive Pig, so say hello to Porker Chat. He is great. And can also kill me in 2 or 3 hits. Do not abuse animals. They are stronger than Ganon. Speaking of that, didn't someone definitely, I'm ignoring those. Someone definitely did a test where in Breath of the Wild they managed to finagle a cuckoo into the final boss fight against Ganon. And I believe they found out that Ganon is in fact a tad bit weaker than an angry mob of chickens. So the problem here is getting... it's getting enough speed up to actually use that technique against... Okay. Yeah, this is definitely the best jumping off point. Gotta orient ourselves straight ahead. I know this is possible because you have to do this to beat the game. Close enough. Nope. Completely missed. I should drink some water. I've been talking nonstop for a while. Minor chat, if you need to hydrate, do so now. Hydrate or dehydrate, that is a threat. I should not have moved the wind back from where it was. Oh, I think I know how you're actually supposed to get here. So this tree, you know what you can do? You can just hook shot to here. However, we do not have a hook shot. What we have is a big magic meter, a giant leaf, and force of will. Yeah, you know it's bad with when the game gives you enough fairies to keep you going for a while. The Savage Labyrinth. Deep in the never-ending darkness, the way to the golden shard you seek awaits. It is hidden in the castle Ag? Well, that's what it says. God, I love Monty Python. Which is a statement I do not need to elaborate any further on. Funny thing is, one of them, I forget which, so I'm going to look it up quick, because, yeah. We'll look it up real quick. Ah! The game has decided to punish me for my hubris. I could pause it, but what would be the fun of that? Yeah, Terry Jones. He was part of the Monty Python troupe. And also, a well-respected medieval historian. Like, I've heard from podcasts and other streams, fully accredited and respected historians say, yeah, Terry Jones was actually very influential in the field and was great at medieval history. And what's even funnier is, you know the scene in Monty Python Holy Grail with the whole, help, help, I'm being repressed peasants? Turns out, that's actually pretty accurate to, like, actual medieval life. Like, it wasn't just this whole feudal structure of king on top, everyone below him has to do what he says. It's a complicated net of mutual obligations, and if you don't have a deal worked out with someone, they just will tell you, well, I didn't vote for you. and tell you to F off. And I'm pretty sure that that whole exchange was based off of Terry Jones's work, which is hilarious. Oh, shit. I just realized if I want to get everything down here, and there's... I forget what it is. It's either a treasure chart with a pretty good treasure, or a piece of heart, which is fine. But to get everything down here, I'm going to have to go down twice. Because at the end, there's a little piece that requires... Ow. First of all, rude. Second of all, how dare you? Oh god, this is Charles III flashbacks again. Hate that bat on... I hate that bat on the boss rush. But there's a part that requires a dungeon item from later in the game, which is going to be the second Master Sword power-up dungeon that we will be tackling. So we will deal with that. Actually, I might just look up what it is and see if it's worth it. Because in all honesty, unless it's the very last one, a piece of heart isn't really worth it. Like, I could... Partially because when you can beat the game on... Like, I feel reasonably sure that I could beat the game on 3 hearts. I might die a couple times, and this is definitely something that if I tried it, I'd eat it. At the very least, I could beat the game on... Oh, hey. Replenishment level. I could beat the game without collecting a large amount of the pieces of heart. And not strictly necessary. You get good enough pieces, you get good enough health increases just from the bosses that you're not exactly struggling through the whole thing. However, they are nice to have, but I'm not sure they're nice enough to do this whole thing twice on stream. I can! Man, the bow is such a hack. Oh, where's the rest of them? Here, slimy, slimy, slimy. That the last one? That is the last one. And the one use of the boomerang trivializes these guys. There we go. Love one-hit. I love one-hit kill items. I think there should be more of that. Just like, oh yeah, if you get this item on this special type of enemy, it one-hit kills them. I mean, now that I actually say that, I realize there's a lot more instances in this game where that's true. Where, although that's mostly because it's either the enemies either take a couple sword combos. You know what I can do here? Leroy! Oh, there's only 2 of them. That was not worth the pain it incurred. But it's either they die in one hit, or they take 1 or 2 sword combos. So technically there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of that happens with the bow. Like this entire floor, I can one-hit kill, alternating... Oh, I did those last two completely backwards. There we go. Well, I think this is, fortunately, the longest and most annoying of the Triforce Chart dungeon. Oh, that's cool. I caught him on the backswing of the boomerang. Can I bring one of these machetes down with me? I hope I can. Oh. We're just going to shoot him. In the butt. Man. Those vocal balloons are strong. I mean, I guess they are the common enemy where one hit, where they put them wherever they want one. Oh, I can't pack a, can't pack the machete down floors. Like, they put them everywhere where that they want a strong challenge that they don't want to put a one-hit kill enemy. And also where a moblin's a bit overkill. Speaking of one-hit kills, Mothulas are weak now. Of course, I did just hit the second half of the game's power-up point. Because every Zelda game kind of has this, where the first half of the game, you're kind of weak, but the challenge is lesser. Then the second half of the game, there's a big old up spike in everything. Oh, wizards. But you also get something that its base damage is twice as much as what you were dealing. Which means, essentially speaking, a sword slash is twice as strong as a regular slash from the previous sword I was using, or about as strong as a regular sword's jump slash. But, which means, the maximum I can do right now is I can essentially get an attack that is 8 times as strong as a standard regular sword slash by doing a jump slash, which is due to the fact that the Master Sword is twice as strong as a regular sword. Jump slash does double damage. That means that, and then get Grandma's soup going. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know why I started that thought or where I was going with that thought, but it definitely happened, and I am glad you were all here to go along with the ride. How many floors are left of this? You know what's got to happen. Now. Oh. Well, that's cheap. Just no-scope that. That was going to be so cool, and then the universe said no. Such a shame. We are almost out of arrows. Problem with the jump attack, it's very easy to overextend. Oh, down we go. Ah, naked. Yeah, like that Dark Knight without the Master Sword takes so long. Oh. And we are almost out of arrows. Oh, well, that worked out well. I feel like it has been so long in this dungeon. Well, out of arrows. Moving to my new best friend, bombs. Eat this. Oddly enough, I feel like my defense has increased too. Like I'm taking less damage than I should from blowing myself up. Okay. This is gonna be fun. No clue how I got that, but glad I did. Get another combo in there. And away we go. Oh, finally. Anyway, give me stuff. Oh, the good news is I think out of all the dungeons you can go into, this one gives you the most money. Which means I'll allow it. It's on thin ice, though. And it's a godsend that it doesn't let you leave until you get the Triforce chart. Yeah, this is just here, and you need the mirror shield to be able to reflect light onto that and get in there. Which we will not have for a hot second. Oh, that was the longest Triforce chart dungeon in the game. And Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm crashing a bit, so... We can keep going for a bit longer, why not? It's Friday night. We got nothing better to do. Oh, I can get the little side quest over here real quick. It's actually a pretty funny one. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I know I've said this before, but the sailing part, as you've all seen, is kind of the longest time sink of the game. And unlike every other game, except for Breath of the Wild, which is properly massive, every other game is a lot more tightly set up. There's a lot less free roam. I suppose Skyward Sword is similar to this game in that their overworld map that isn't like tied to a quest site is truly kind of a massive void without all that much to do. But it's pretty cool, especially at the time. Hasn't aged all that well, but it walked so Breath of the Wild could run. The idea was there and it was ambitious. But I love the puzzle on this island. That's another thing. I love that it gave the game the ability to have all these tiny little puzzles that don't really need an explanation, but can just kind of be there. Shoot. Because this one, it's golf. Just playing a little game of golf. Yeah. This course is this hole's a bit tough. It's got that dog leg right here. And we gotta hook it. On the green. Okay, nope. Okay, nudge it. I can nudge it off, which is a win. Yes! Sunk it. Of course, I think another option is to just go and, once you have the hook shot, to grapple onto it yourself. And yeah, so there's 3 things. Oh! Oh. I think he's looking at a big octo spot. Nope. He is just staring into space? I mean, he is looking into a kaleidoscope, so... I'm just gonna leave him to his happy ponderings. That was more east than not. That's better. Kind of, sort of. We'll make it work. Maybe. I think this is a treasure chart, probably. Yeah, we're just gonna... Wait, one of those giant flying pufferfish got hit by the gunboat. That's hilarious. Right, let's go see what's down this mystery hole. Mothula, my ancestral enemy. Shoot, this moth has got hands. Well, not the... You know what I mean. Nice! 2 treasure charts for the cost of 1 game of golf. Huh. Oh no. So, I just remembered that I got a little something, something I gotta do. So, yeah. Gonna end the stream now. Is lovely time. Hope you all had fun. Just want to thank you all again for coming along for this, and probably won't stream next week. It's going to be Thanksgiving here in the U.S. and for anyone in the U.S., hope you have a wonderful time at Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey, get a food coma, avoid any family member that pisses you off, and just so probably see you a week after. And here's my Twitter, so if you want to get a little bit of forewarning on the next stream time and what it'll be, hit me up there and follow. And thoughts, organize. Just follow me on there for more of this. Do a lot of weird rambling, disjointed such and suches, and also some other third thing that I'll definitely bring up when I remember what it is. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and see you next time. Probably with another game, maybe with this. We'll find out when we get there. Bye!